Here's a picture, a little video of what we got here. This is the room we're going to be demoing and then rebuilding. I have my friend Spencer here. He's going to help me with the process. We're going to, it's had water damage everywhere from a roof leak, and homeowner had to get the roof repaired before we could do the repairs on the inside. And she's got that done, so here we are. We're going to start doing this. So there's Spencer and me. Spencer's my friend from a long time ago. We trade work all the time, so he decided to help me out on the demo on this project, since it's going to be drywall removal and we got to take it to the dump and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to help me there. We're going to take up that floor. That floor was just a sheet vinyl that was just cut to fit and laid in there. As you can see, I've already got it out. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to start working on the baseboard heater. The homeowner wanted it removed completely. She uses other forms of HVAC, and that's pretty much obsolete in her house. So we're going to remove that. We're going to take it to the dump, and we're going to put a 220 outlet in there by the end. That way, if she needs to, she can plug something else into it, but she won't have any issues with like a baseboard heater problem or anything like that. So Spencer's coming back. He just took off all of the framing around that. I don't know why I can't think of it now. Air conditioner. Gosh, that's stupid of me. He just took all of that framing around the air conditioner and the trim on the outside, and he's taking all the stuff on the inside off now and making sure that it's free. Now he's starting his demo, and from here we're going to see the wall get removed and pretty much remove that, and then we'll start on the ceiling. I'm walking around because we pulled a breaker, and the breaker, when we put it back in, some of the stuff wasn't working right, so we just had to go around and test some stuff. But it was just simple, as it hadn't been pulled out in about 3-4 years, and it was just a disconnect, and when we put it back in, it just needed a little bit of extra push in there, but we got it. So here's the demo. I'll let you guys watch that and we'll get to it. So you guys can't smell this, but it kind of smells like there was 50 cats living in here, all peeing on the walls at the same time. And that smell didn't reveal itself until after we got into the walls and started removing the drywall. So therefore, I already anticipated this. We're gonna have to kill everything in this room before we go back and start putting insulation and drywall in. There's no insulation in these walls. This is a completely bare room. It's just exterior wall, cavity, drywall finish. So we're going to be going back with insulation. We're going to be going back with drywall. She wants smooth wall texture, and then we're just going to put some standard 2 1/4 trim around everything and replace the light and the AC. Everything else is not going back. It had a baseboard heater. We took that out. That's gone. And now we're going to have to re-insulate everything. So right here, he picked up some papers that were stuffed in the wall from when that room was built, and we saw that it was back in 1960s. So that's when that paper little article was from. It was browned up like it was old. It was really cool to find. If you guys have ever opened up a wall and found something cool in it, just drop it in the comments and let me know. It's really cool to find cool things like that. Old bottles from construction crews, old cans, stuff like that. Those are awesome finds when you're doing construction and you open up an old wall. So right here, he turned that vacuum on and it just started blowing dust, and I realized that he was vacuuming without the filter on. And those are those bucket vacs that you can buy at Home Depot. Those things are super handy. 38 bucks, and it just fits on any bucket. Comes with a hose and everything. Good buys if you have a chance. Now, I do want to say that I'm really sorry about not changing the camera angle here, because after I was doing my editing and everything, I realized that I just stood in front of the camera halfway with my waist out there for quite some time during this video. And, you know, I'm new to this, so I got to figure out my angles and everything, but yeah, it was kind of a learning experience on where to put my camera. Also, I do want to mention that I gave Spencer a mask, and you can see this previously in the video. He wore that bad boy for about 5 minutes and said, nope, I'm a smoker. I would rather just inhale it than wear this thing. So, I just want you guys to know that, because I'm wearing a mask, he's not. and he had one. It was just kind of his choice, because there's a lot of dust going on in there. So alright, now we're going to be taking out the ceiling. So that light was put up, and we took that down, and then I had to search for the screws that were holding that piece of wood up, because the guy that put it up there before, he screwed it in not 4 but 8 different areas to keep it up there. So I had to chip away because he had put drywall mud over it. got it all cleaned up. We're gonna mask everything off, and then we're gonna spray it all with Kills, seal everything up, and get it all nice and not smelling and safe from water damage, future water damage. This would be a perfect time to just let everybody know that Spencer just helps me. I don't pay him or anything, so if you see him on his phone or just standing there, he totally takes advantage of that, because this is kind of just a learning thing for him. He just watches what I do so that maybe he can do some stuff on his own at his house. He just recently tried some drywall before this, and he figured out that it's just not as easy as it looks. So he wanted to watch me do some drywall here. Now I'm getting this little Wagner sprayer out, and boy, I tell you what, it started going a little rough, and then I added a little bit of thinner to the paint to make it go through there a little bit better, and it started doing a lot better. But I'll tell you what, those Wagners, you can't hold them at a different angle. You have to hold them at the correct angle for it to spit the paint out right, at least on the model that I had, which was, I think, like the Flexio or whatever. So when you're going to buy these cheap little sprayers to just kind of, this was my primer sprayer for a big job that I did, and I didn't want to get anything in my other sprayer, so this is kind of like my throwaway cheap sprayer that I wanted to use for icky jobs. Not nice.
We did eventually go back and re-roll over this, but the sprayer was to kind of get in all those little areas where we can't get with a brush or a roller so easy. Just to give it a quick coat, and then we'll roll and brush on the rest of it. It is insulation day. We got the place killed. Everything is plugged, except for like the new stuff that was replaced up there, so we didn't do that. And now we're going to throw some insulation in. Put my PPE on, with the fiberglass insulation. After that, we'll do drywall. And yeah. Okay, we got everything drywall, or we got everything insulated, and we're ready for drywall. Just give you guys a little we used R13 because the gaps are the walls are pretty thin, so we got it all insulated, and we're ready for drywall now. All right, I'll be back when we get the drywall up, at least the ceiling. Now, I did say I was going to get back to you guys when I put the ceiling up, but we never got to the ceiling. I mean, it's up, but I didn't record it. So this is my only recording of during the drywall process because my other camera didn't catch it. But we got all the drywall up through the walls, with the ceiling, everything. So in between this whole process, we got all the drywall up. I got all the taping done, the mudding done, and I got the sanding done, and we did the painting. And now I will be starting on installing the doors. Okay, so we're gonna replace this door that went from the little foyer mudroom area that we're redoing, and it goes out into the back patio that was covered, and it was made into a covered area, and they started finishing it. The door was originally on one way, and then they routed out the other side, and they put the hinges on the other side of the door to make it close the other direction. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So here's the original side. Here's where they routed out and put the door on the other side. And then they did this, and you have the two there. Threshold's really old. Everything down there. So we're gonna have to leave the threshold because that thing, I don't know what's going on with that, but we're leaving that. We're gonna clean it up and make it look really nice and new, but we're gonna leave that one in. Then we're gonna remove this jamb and everything, the whole frame, and then we're gonna put new door in. So solid core, and it will swing out towards this wall right here and not into the room anymore. So, all right, I'll take some pictures when we're done. Hey everyone, it's Ken here with Bowser Construction. We're back with this remodel in this room that we're doing. We've got the paint going. It's all done. We have doors installed. This door started out as a 36-inch door. And once I got into it and I started seeing what was going on, I realized that the actual door was like a hand-built door. And so they built the door and then they took the rough frame in and they just attached the door after routering some spots for the hinges and the latch into the rough frame of the door. So what I did is I went and got a 32-inch door instead of a 36-inch door, and I came back and I framed in with a 2x6 and some 1x6s and a couple shims and stuff, and we framed in a 32-inch door into this spot. Now I have to do some drywall repairs because of that, but it'll be minimal and the door will actually be right. So now in the future, if the customer wants to change the door to something different, then they can just go ahead and pull that door out and then stick a new door in. So, and here's what it looks like. There you go. Like I said, I still need to do some drywall there and there just to patch that in. And it did get a little bit of water damage just because it sat. So, but that's nothing. We're going to paint that door bright white, so we'll have kills down there. We'll paint that up and get that all taken care of, and then we'll take care of that door and make sure it looks really nice. Here's another door that we installed. This door was another handmade door, but it was on a pre-framed structure, so I pulled that out with the door off, and I was able to slide this 28-inch door right into place, and no issues. Shimmed, set, and we're all good. It does. It is good. We do have to cut a cat door right there in that panel and put it in there for the resident cat. His name is Bob. But here's the barn door. There's still some adjustments here after we get the trim on and we put the trim in and everything. There will be this gap right here, and these spacers on the wall have a spacer right here, and this spacer can come out, and that's for trim. So once you get your trim on the wall, you take this spacer out or you put it in depending on what your needs are, and your door will slide evenly throughout. Now we're also going to be putting a laminate floor in this entire thing. She has the laminate already, so we're going to clean up and prep the floor, and we're going to put laminate in here. But the first thing that we needed to do before we did the laminate was we needed to take care of this exterior door. This exterior door has always had a leaking issue. So what we did is we came through. The door was really hard to open before, so we made it to where you can just turn the knob and open the door. And somebody has previously tried to make repairs on this door before. I just scraped off all of the what's it called, the seal, the door seal that they had put in here, and you can see somebody tried to screw some screws in here at one point and do that to suck it in. We're going to clean all that up. We're going to seal all that. We're going to make sure that everything here is good. And then we'll clean up this side, and I would put a bottom seal on the door, a new bottom seal. The other one was on there, was all weather worn. It's a compression seal, so you don't need anything on it. Those things are tight to get on anyway. But somebody had taken and drilled and put screws in it, which if you have uneven pressure on a compression seal, those places over time will warp the whole edge, and you'll start to get dirt and debris down in there, and it won't function correctly. And that's what we had going on. So we had to change that out. So here's the back. The other thing that we did is this threshold right here. So this threshold was leaning the wrong way. It had a tilt coming back into the building. And so what we wanted to do is we took this out and we cleaned everything up, and they had no silicone, they had no nothing under this threshold. So basically whenever water pooled up right here, it would just run straight into here, and it was causing water damage. As you can see, there's previous watermark stains from over here. So what we did was we pulled that entire threshold out, and then we cleaned everything up, and we took and we put composite shims underneath along the whole thing to prevent like uneven, uneven wear on it. I didn't want one place to like sink down when somebody's stepping on it. So we put silicone in the front all the way over here, all the way down. And then we put shims in the back all the way down, composite, not wood. And then we put the screws in. And when we put the screws in, we put a little bit of liquid nails into the hole, drove the screw in. And then right where the head is, we put some silicone and twist that screw down, and that's going to make that a watertight seal on each screw head, and it'll give it a little bit more stability because we raised it up off the ground with the liquid nails. So that threshold is solid, it's not going anywhere, and it has the right slope to it now. So that's one of the most important things. And in doing all of that, the door still close. We're gonna get new hardware, but the door still closes easy. So I feel like that door is good. We've kind of taken care of the issues. The only thing that we have left is you can see daylight there. That's one of the reasons why I was scraping all of this right here off. So what we're gonna do is we bought this seal right here, and we're going to run that all the way around this outside of the door to prevent any moisture and sunlight and bugs from getting in. So I will take some pictures of that and a video when we're all done. We're going to scrape and paint this thing too, just so you guys know. Yeah, we're not going to leave it looking like that. All this nice stuff in here and leave the front door. No, we don't do that. All right, we're back here. I got this door done. So what we did was we took out the threshold. We put sealant under it because there was no sealant. It was just threshold on concrete. Well, actually, it's threshold on a flashed piece of wood right next to the concrete. So there was nothing actually stopping water from coming into the building. We took care of that. We put 100% silicone caulk under there, filled it all up. We shimmed it so it has the right angle coming off of the door. And then we removed all of the weather stripping that was there. And we put in new weather stripping around the door from the outside to prevent any light or wind or rain, water, moisture, anything like that from getting in. We did have to take the strike plate off, and we had to hollow that out a little bit more. Luckily, I had my wood chisels on me today, thank goodness. So we got that done, and we've had to file down the strike plate just a little bit so that when the door shut, it would shut, and the plunger on the door would actually go into the strike plate. So with ease. It would before, but you had to slam it, and it's like knocking the door out of the frame. I don't want to do that. So we made this an easy shut door. I'm going to turn this camera around, and I will show you guys. Here's the door. Okay, I have the the new compression seal on the bottom. We have the new threshold, or not new, but resealed threshold down there. And then we have the new weather stripping seal all the way around. So that's good. And we are going to scrape and paint all of this stuff. So it's all going to look nice. But we did have to, right here, we had to take this and pull this strike plate off. Pull this strike plate off. And then we carved out into here more. And then we hollowed out this hole because the plunger wasn't able to go all the way and release all the way. So we were having problems with the door when you tried to open it because it wasn't fully actuated to begin with. So there's that, and we have that done, and we're going to seal and caulk all that, and it'll look real nice. But here's the thing that I wanted to show you, and there is no light in here, so it will get a little dark for just a second. But when you shut this door now, it's shut. That is shut. And no light. Sealed. So there you go. That's how you correctly seal and repair a door to where it is. Now we do still have, because I'm not pulling the door out, they don't want me to pull the door out and everything, we do still have a swing on the door at a certain area. The door swing open and hit the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this top hinge right here. We're going to put a door stop in here after we have some trim on the wall. And so therefore the door will only open so far and it won't slam against the wall. And we're actually going to do that on all of the doors so that they aren't slamming. Okay, so this is the finished product. We got the barn door on, we got the doors in, the floor is in, we have trim all the way around, we got our door stops in, all of our plates are on, the light is hung, everything is completely finished at this point. Barn door works great. Yeah. If you guys want your project done by Bowser Construction, go ahead and give us a call. Our phone number is 509-551-7581, or you can email us at bowserbuildsit@gmail.com. And don't forget, as always, if you could please like, share, comment, anything helps. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. This is my first video, so don't hate too much in the comments, but drop a comment if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.